I don't think it's a risk to leave the show. I don't think if I walked away from my career at this point, you know, the only thing that I run the risk of is having regrets, and you know, you don't know what those are going to be until you look back one day. But I feel like my regrets would be, if I stayed on this path, that I am missing out on some more important things in life. When I started on The Voice in 2011, that was 10 years into my career as a country artist. And I never really made it to the A level of country artist until I became a coach on The Voice, which, you know, saying that out loud like that, it's crazy they ever even hired me to begin with. There was way bigger artists out there in country music that they could have offered this job to, and I'm sure they would have jumped at it. You know, I'd had some hits, I'd had enough success that I was a credible country artist to be a coach for other people, but I surely wasn't a household name. And so, you know, putting me on the show really didn't, at the time, bring a lot to the table for the network or for the show itself. You couldn't say, you know, Blake Shelton's a coach and hope that millions of people would tune in for that reason, because the truth is, if you weren't a country music fan, you'd never even heard my name anyway, you know, not like Christina Aguilera or Adam or CeeLo at the time, who were huge international stars and still are. You know, the show did a hell of a lot more for me than I brought to the table for them at the time.
You're the type of person that I have been sitting here waiting for. That is the voice I've been sitting here waiting.
It's been a long time coming, really, for me to step out of this role as a coach on The Voice. You know, and for a lot of reasons, you know. I mean, first of all, this is 23 seasons. By the time I step away, I think it'll be 23 seasons, and it's time to let somebody else take that seat. But the holdup has been over the years is that's a hard thing, first and foremost, for me to let go of. I mean, this show is my baby too. I've been here literally since the first minute. The other thing is I don't want to walk away from my team here that depend on me also, you know, and that's probably been the biggest holdup, you know, over the years, is that I know that the network and the producers, they really do lean on me to kind of be the centerpiece of the show, as from the standpoint of helping when new coaches and new talent and stuff come in. It helps other artists to be able to lean on me and go, how do I handle this? You know, should I be afraid to say that was no good, or what do I do? You know, can I be funny? Can I be myself?
You just need your chance to be heard, and you just need somebody to help you along that journey. I would be honored to be that coach for you, Morgan.
I've had a lot of friends, you know, ask me what I'm going to do. A lot of other, you know, people that I know in the business, and I don't have a plan. I truly don't have a plan. I just want to see what's next, and I don't know what that is. It's exciting. I almost said it's scary, but it's really not, because I wasn't looking for this job when I found it. And so it's kind of just exciting to know what else may be out there, or maybe nothing. Maybe I'll look back in a couple of years and go, man, that was it. That was my moment, and damn, made the most of it. But for now, in this moment, I know it's time for me to step away as a coach. It's time. But I'm glad I stayed as long as I did, but I'm ready for what's next. And what's next for me right now is Barmageddon.
We got some beer goggles for you all. Oh,
this is wrong. This is like when you agreed to marry Blake Shelton drunk.
The idea came from Carson and I, especially during COVID. We were here filming The Voice, and in between takes or lunch breaks or dinner breaks or whatever during the blind auditions, he and I would just end up in one of our dressing rooms. There's nobody here. Nobody was allowed to even be in the building, not even an audience. And we would just sit back there and drink. Literally drink from the time, you know, they said lunch till it's time to go back and start filming again. And when you put he and I together and there's really nobody else around, that's when all these ideas started coming about. And one day we were watching, we had the TV on and we were sitting there having a drink, and there's a show, Holy Moly. And I remember, I go, we need to do a show like that, but let's drink while we do it. And that's where literally the idea for Barmageddon was born in that moment, where it was like, yeah, how come nobody drinks on TV anymore? We all drink when we watch TV. Don't pretend like we don't, you know. We drink when we go out. Like, how come nobody's filming this stuff, you know? And that's really where the show came from.
Tequila, Tabasco sauce, and mayonnaise.
Back in the day, I would say, you know, if you know, the 28-year-old version of Blake Shelton on Barmageddon is a way different show than the 46-year-old version of myself now. Because now I like to watch other people do stupid stuff, not necessarily be the one doing it. But you know, it was funny, after we had been filming the show for about 2 or 3 days, we were there in Nashville. Next thing you know, Carson and I, we started playing the games with the contestants and with the celebrities, and we were kind of becoming a part of the show, which was never going to be the plan to begin with. I was always just kind of going to be in the background, and you know, and Carson was going to be making drinks and just commenting on what we were seeing. And next thing you know, I was just kind of in the middle of this thing because it's so much fun. I wanted to be a part of it. The thing with Gwen is, you know, the relationship that we have, it's so natural and so normal to both of us that that's the only weird thing about it, is like, this feels like the most normal, easiest thing I've ever been a part of in my life. And I forget every day that she's Gwen Stefani, you know. And it's not until moments like, well, yesterday when she came out of the dressing room and she looked like literally almost fainted when I saw her, you know. It's like, oh my God, she's, you know, it's those reminders that she's this icon, you know. Or if I bring her out on stage with me to sing, or I go to see one of her shows, it's not until those moments that it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that you're, you know, international icon, superstar, everything cool that you could possibly be. Because to me, she's my best friend and everything that I need and I lean on in my personal life, and that's all really that matters, you know. But it's super cool that she's also like that Gwen Stefani also. I mean, just knowing that you're married, for me, it literally makes me feel settled, and but nothing's really changed. It's just more of I guess, a state of mind. It got to a point quickly with Gwen and I's relationship that there was never a time where I thought, well, I wonder if, you know, if this doesn't work out. That never really crossed my mind. And I don't think it did with her either. It was just a matter of me, you know, deciding when, you know, I wanted to go get a ring and ask her to marry me. I think our biggest bonding has been, you know, as far as something that we do together besides music, has to be gardening. We go way over the top. I mean, if there's a splurge that is embarrassing, it would be how much we probably spend on like seeds. Like it's like boxes of seeds come to the house, you know, that we get off Amazon or some of these garden centers. It's like, oh, I wonder if we can grow an Icelandic lily here. Let's just try it and see. But the label says it has to be 40 below in the winter. You think it'll grow? I don't know. Let's try it. You know, so we'll plant everything, you know, we can. Basically all we can get to grow is zinnias and sunflowers at this point, but we're convinced that we're going to find a way or have the perfect year to have, you know, crazy plants that should never grow in Oklahoma or California. If people knew how not exciting it truly is, you know, it's that tame. I've said this to her before, you know, it's the timing of when we have gotten together at this point in our life. Our batteries don't charge up as much as they used to. You know, a car battery after a while, you know, it can only charge up so much. We've done so much traveling and touring and work the first half of our life that now we're just like, hey, I'm good with at 6 p.m. to go put my sweatpants on and watch Ozark 8 times tonight if you want to. I'm good with that. That's literally our life now, and we love it. I think more than anything, just having kids, you know, I'm not saying anything profound here, but it truly does make you go, oh, whoa, wait a minute. This isn't about me anymore, you know, and never will be again. And you just have to, and if you don't say that to yourself, I just think you're only hurting yourself because you're going to miss out, and you'll regret it, and deep down you will. What's out there for me, you know? I've accomplished more than anything I could ever imagine, you know, made plenty of money, and none of that, you can't buy time back, you know? And so that's what I want to invest in now. And for now, that's our kids. Even though I'm a step parent, I still take that job very serious, and the kids don't see me as anything other than just a very important person in their life, and why isn't Blake here, you know? And so I take that stuff to heart, and each kid has something different to teach. I think they've taught me that something about myself that I never knew was there, was that I'm more than just a country singer or a goofy guy, you know, and someone that they actually lean on, and that's not a responsibility that I ever had, and not something that I thought ever considered even being into, you know what I mean? And so it's just, I don't really know how to put it into words, but it's just a different self-worth, and it's also maybe it's the opposite of a self-worth, because you kind of put yourself way down on the rung, and they move up ahead of you, you know. I guess that's what they've taught me. My happiest times now, it's the easiest question. That was when we all get to go back home to Oklahoma, and we get away from everything, and we're just us back there. You don't have to be anybody when we get to go back to Oklahoma. You just be a family when you go there. Born and raised in Oklahoma in the middle of nowhere, and that's where I feel the most comfortable and happy and safe, and those are my happiest times. My music, that's something that I'm always gonna keep a foot in the door if I can. That's not something I can go without. I can't help it. But as far as like recording and stuff goes, it's, I don't know, I'm really at a crossroads right now. I'm not planning on going anywhere or changing anything up, really. I'm just kind of to the point where I see the country music, the lane, it's changing so rapidly, and there's some really good stuff out there, and these young kids coming up, it's amazing to see the music that they're making and how creative they are, and I don't know, I don't feel like I'm in as big of a rush to try to keep up with them anymore. I'm kind of enjoying, you know, watching what's happening and putting a song out once in a while, and that's another reason that I'm excited to get some time back to, you know, away from the voice and concentrate more on what kind of record do I want to make, and is it going to fit in? Do I care? Do I not care? I don't know. I got a lot to figure out, but you know, I'm not getting away from music. That's one thing that I can control the timing of. You know, I'm not on anybody else's schedule when it comes to making a record or touring. I can kind of do that and fit it in a way that makes more sense for us. I don't have a next. I truly don't. I know that sounds crazy. You know, I've had, you know, I swear I've had people say, man, come on, you're not quitting the voice for nothing. I'm not that stupid. And I really am.